Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Well, and again, neither could you. It's not as if we can see around corners. Or can we? Femto-photography is a novel style of photography capturing images with a resolution of 1,000,000,000,000 frames per second, having the capability of visualizing the propagation of visual light. Up until very recently, femtophotography was only a term used to describe a theoretic technique of studying light and photons. Due to the fact that shutters couldn't move quick enough to capture such high-speed images, many scientists thought that such a camera would be near impossible to construct. But with a bit of creative thinking and the repurposing of other laser and optical equipment, a team at MIT headed by this guy, Ramesh Raskar, found a different way of detecting light as it propagates. Now, I just wanted to stop you there because I really wanted to emphasize the fact that we are talking about light propagating. That is at the speed of light. What does something look like when it goes at the speed of light? I mean, of course, we will see light, but we can't slow it down. What would something look like if we were to slow down the speed of light? Well, I think Ramesh explains it very well.
And take those packet of photons and fire into this bottle. How will those photons shatter into this bottle? How does light look in slow motion? Now the whole event remember, the whole event is effectively taking place in less than a nanosecond. That's how much time it takes for light to travel. But I'm slowing down in this video by a factor of 10 billion so you can see the light in motion. But Coca-Cola did not sponsor this research.
The device uses a sapphire laser, whose beams, which are small packets of photons, are split into two further beams. The first beam is rebounded onto a diffuser, which spreads the light onto the desired object. The diffused photons are then, using scanning mirrors, focused back onto the camera lens. Because the photons are diffused, they are captured at slightly different times, which is calculated by the synchronizing mechanism where the other split photon packet goes before being diffused. This action happens hundreds of times per second, whereby the images are organized into streaks of photons, and then are overlaid into graphs that closely resemble heat-sensing images, sort of like night vision goggles, but for sensing a spectrum of individual photons. The picture shows by color the closest to the furthest distance by the intensity of the photons, and by repeating this, scientists are able to develop a 3D image of what the photons have been diffused onto. The device can effectively be used to see around corners by bouncing the photons off an object like a door or a wall as a diffuser and measuring the slight differences in time that the photons travel back to the camera to calculate the basic shape of what is just out of sight. Now, I'm interrupting you once again because I want to discuss the impact that the development of the technology had on society. Now, this is somewhat of a problem when you're talking about femtophotography, mainly because it's not necessarily commercially available, but it does have many hopeful prospects in the future. These prospects include revolutionizing medical research, endoscopies, and keyhole surgeries, because having the ability to see around corners, up tubes, and the like would make things safer, quicker, more accurate, and even more affordable. Other uses include handheld people finders for emergencies like fires, collision avoidance robot navigation, or even to eliminate blind spots in CCTV surveillance cameras. Well, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching. Just because Femto-Photography isn't necessarily here yet doesn't mean you shouldn't get excited. Because just like the packets of photons coming out of that laser, something pretty darn awesome is coming very soon. And it's just around the corner. Damn it. Didn't see that coming. Oh, no, it's still rolling. Fruitcake.